Ghana's land borders stretch from Aflao to the southeast, Paga to the north, and Ilubo to the west. Entry and exit points are notorious for a myriad of activities, lawful and unlawful, official and unofficial. But what mostly holds true is that border towns and the activities therein are some of the strongest drivers of economic and social growth for government, the immediate communities, and withal. For a year and over, we've blamed every occurrence on the emergence of the novel coronavirus. The virus has in turn created novel conditions, exposed and worsened existing challenges. From March 2020, when the first cases of COVID-19 were recorded, the air and land borders were officially closed.
Fellow Ghanaians,
the man in charge, the President, Nana Akufo-Addo, made this declaration during the first and subsequent coronavirus briefings to the nation.
Our borders by land and sea remain closed. Our borders by air, land and sea remain closed until further notice.
Though the air borders have been opened for several months now, running a controlled and economically efficient testing regime, including quarantine and contact tracing, the land borders remain officially closed, or at least so it seems.
I'm a businessman. I'm a Togo, between beton shirts and material trousers and jeans and khaki. But and apart from that, the corona time in your company, I say life on the course. Corona, but there's a way out.
Chief intends to get back on the road when he runs out of merchandise. As he puts it, life must go on. So this is the town of Aflao, a shadow of what it used to be. The physical border separating Ghana from Togo is just behind me. Prior to March 2020, this town was bustling with people, security personnel, fixers or Goro boys as they call them, goods and services all over the place. Now the town is just a shadow of itself. But let's not get fooled. The people who do business across this border have taken to other means of doing business. They're working on different terms. The only persons allowed to enter and exit are diplomats with the right documentation, cargo vehicles and drivers. Traders and travelers alike continue to make illegal trips across borders using the famous and approved routes, including Akpokplen, Kologakope, Segbe, and 10 other illegal routes called beats. I found out for myself what those terms were, crossing to Togo at beat 7 and exiting at beat 4. The going rate to cross to Togo from Ghana is 15 Ghana cedis, an increase from the previous 5 cedis before the border was closed.
You go take the money, right?
Okay. Immigration and police officers have been posted at the beats to limit movement, but in their full glare and on their behalf, extortion and illegal passage continues. Local area champions allegedly collect illegal payments on behalf of immigration officers. I guess they do so to preserve the integrity of the uniforms. Once you pay and are rushed across the no man's land, the Togolese officials are given their part of the payment and allow entry. It is a very ordered arrangement and peaceful coexistence where officials on both ends keep smiling all the way to the bank. What separates the two countries is this see-through wire fence. Transporters and businesswomen in the area have confirmed the fact that business is booming regardless of the border closure. However, the illegalities are much less when the border is open.
Ça non moyen non. Ne t'inquiète pas. Si je vois là, si c'est plein là, je vais appeler le cycle là.
Don't worry. When I see your goods and drugs coming from Lomé, I will charge by the quantity. Nigerians and Beninois come through with no issues.
Tout là, c'est après de l'argent.
Everything is about how much you can pay.
Même si c'est drogue, ça te passe.
Even if it is drugs, trafficking continues even when the border is open, but not as much as now. Even the state knows this work goes on.
I can transport all kinds of goods from Togo for you. I work with my daughter and sister. We share and carry. Call me when you are ready.
You are still doing this work when the border is open. Across the country's land borders, unapproved routes number over 100, and those are the known ones. In fact, for the Ilubo border, the Immigration Service cannot confirm the exact numbers.
You cannot count. There are places that you can man. You can discover an approved goods here. You put a personnel there. The person comes. You just move on. Just create a name. So for now we cannot count. But those that we are manning now, they are about 20 on, and the distances are quite far. As far as we can stretch ourselves. But then people as they are who want to breach your border, wherever you stand, they have to avoid you. So they have to create new ones. So they keep creating, we keep discovering, we keep manning them, but they keep creating.
One would say that the story of unapproved routes and illegal immigrants and extortion are not novel. Well, that is true. But what is also true is the emergence of a varied number of unlawful, illegitimate and downright criminal activities involving both foreigners and locals, which cost the economy much needed revenue from the duties paid by smallholder importers and exporters. Now they say this is necessary because life must go on. This is one of the many uncountable unapproved routes that travelers, whether nationals or foreigners, use to cross between La Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana. This goes all the way 12 kilometers to the river where they can cross now into Côte d'Ivoire. So it's a very difficult task for the immigration to monitor and to arrest and detain and return all of these people that try to attempt to come across into Ghana or to leave the country to La Côte d'Ivoire. Traffickers have more leverage and are more empowered to charge higher fees because the borders are officially closed and they have to pay officials and agents more to get foreigners and goods into the country.
And you caught the corona by for getting to 1 year in Amekoba. So a man am the moon. This time they're very high. Because say a main border, there's a way out with me. Most of the time they do me no passport. What they share Ghana ma, ubet me the room ako, ubu to go ma, ebi almost am pomejo some little amount. Ubeko, without you be and shedder anyway. But I'll for bitter other source and other beko now risk a woman say, we see a bit me either. And yes, now we are women. So, and the crown of the first I'll be corners and no man, Sika near the opportunity, I should be a boy no room. Oh, but also be born to me ever. Once a custom for no around the day, but only me direct say or bejo cash so I say boys be open here. We know so no can price now. I don't work on them ultimately about 10 cities, 15 cities. Now go room. I'm settle that side now. If you also buy, I'll make me a juicy fan with some money bina and also with me a pay. Now aba. Be a cost of pepe with the timer. Na kura ni ho ni sawe se na ne ye no saa na sisi aso ye no so border no ma cruise no me because maybe a route na me Ghana ni me ko me ban e ho aso na foreigners na eba no omofa eba obi an check obi a ina yekobasa.
Despite several checkpoints aside from the main border, such as those at Dabala and Sogakope, goods are allowed movement for a fee, causing the country to lose revenue. Foreigners, including Togolese, Beninois, and Nigerians, are able to enter and exit for a fee, flouting the presidential order. No testing, no contact tracing in case of exposure to the virus, and no quarantine on suspicion of having contracted the virus. Just plain old extortion. But this time, sponsored by the border closure.
There are certain procedures that you will have to pass through. So the embassy will write to, if you are not a Ghanaian, your embassy will write to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ghana, and they will issue you with permit to cross the border. Those are the official ones that do come in. Those ones, when they come in, they come with the documents properly signed, authorized by the minister, and then they go to immigration, they take down the details. So they have all those details with them. Those are the official ones. However, you know that you will not get everybody to want to toe the line. And so our frontier is also mainly water, the river tunnel. And so every now and then, you get some people trying to sneak in. You cannot rule those ones out. We have tried as much as possible to limit those that are trying to force their way in. And together with the military, together with the marine police, and then the 48 engineers, the Navy, they are all with us here, Hafasni and all the other places, trying to ensure that the President's directive is well respected.
The local economy at Ilubo has equally taken a nosedive as a result of the pandemic. A bit of a contrasting situation than that of Aflao, but dire in its degree of effect. Only those persons brave and wealthy enough to get on illegally are making ends meet. This is Ilubo, the western border to La Côte d'Ivoire. Before last March, this place would have been bursting with activity, with people moving in and out and goods moving in and out. But not today. And as it's been since last March 2020, since COVID descended on us and the borders were shut by the president, this place has been quiet and there's been very little activity. The local economy has been affected and the people that live here have been affected. But are we preventing COVID-19 by keeping these borders shut? Residents and local government officials of the town who have opened up about their year-long challenges plead with the president to open the border.
When they closed the border, things went bad because they can't move to anywhere. And looking at the Jomolo municipality, Ilubo is the economic city, so we do more trading. After trading, we have farming, and a lot of the farmers have farms at the sister country's side, that is the Côte d'Ivoire side. So they close the border to that area. So when they are going, because of the restriction, they can't go. So based on that, it also affected them. And because of the business, people moving from Nigeria, Benin, Togo, going to Côte d'Ivoire, they pass here. So when they get here, they also do buy things. So right now, these things are not going on.
At first, before the closure of the border, you were living happily because economic activities were booming and a lot have also migrated. Now, the current situation we are facing now, people are not able to pay their tariff, that is electricity, because they don't have much. Water and electricity are being cut off. People are not able to get access to these valuable services. And we still plead to the government to help us because the community is almost turned to ghost town and it is not helping us. We need a president to at least have mercy on us and put the measures in place and open the border for us.
Shops have been shut over the period, with goods going bad, particularly pharmaceuticals.
Yani Ghana fu nidja, yani ambulance ni didja, nti woman yani uma didja fu da dada, yani Ghana fu yani uma didja, nti ya bia ya be pepa ho keke na ya tena ha ebia wo mo a wonse Ghana ni bia beto baako na wo de adidi enti ama ye no man bebre na asɛe
border na ya to no affect ye bebre best 1 year ni ye to border no ma ye to ye so mu no wo ba bie no na niam ni nyina asɛe enti ye niam egu ha nyina bus paboa we no nyina asɛe enti ye sra na do da kwa sɛ omla no ma bie border no ama ye so ye nya hoto ya so yatena ha ye Ghana fo yatena ha 1 year 2 months ya to border mu say crofo ho nyina bebre agane eka banglo bebre agane ye ni ya sika kakra akra mu ni nyina so ahye e dey say ye yire nu nyina akra jejaye
border afi ba ko ye ya ho nko kuma se ehifa ene ya be se be bobra na wa kese ene ya die gu krom se ye di adwuma esi asra na se ye sra na ya na to aba no ma no we be border no o me bie ma ye ene ye kunu mo jejaye meti ya afi ba ko ni be bia kunu wo mi ni be bia kunu wo te se ma wo ha nyina wo jai mo yire no ene wo se free education po enti me afa ye ba ko school Ilubo ha free education enti me afa ye ba ko school enti na ko fu ado ye ba ucha se be bia border de ma ye yo.
The drug that had expired, when the food and drug box came, I'll give it to them. They will go and burn it. But they said they will give us something small, but still, we are not seeing anything. Yeah, I have a lot. Example, if I even brought some, things are not going well. So only small medicine that I put it. Because if I want them to buy the medicine, they will not come and buy it.
Even the government officials, including the SEPs, police and immigration, share their frustrations with the closure. They showed me around some illegal paths that daredevils ply to illegally move between Ghana and La Côte d'Ivoire.
Look at even intersocial relationships. There have been instances community people have come to seek our permission to allow them to go for a funeral, and the permission doesn't lie with us to give such authorization. We said write it for the attention of the president, and sometimes it goes, you don't have feedback, and therefore you cannot allow the people to go. So it has even limited social interactions where practically two families are living on the other side and they cannot have the chance to interact with each other. And then economy rise, some have to sell here, some have to sell here. So it's actually a challenge. For the people, they are really suffering.
Per the security team charged with enforcing the security of the zone, monitoring the area simply represents a logistical nightmare. So this is one of the other unapproved routes that I've come to see here at Ilubo. And if you look at the river, it's just 50 meters across. It's the other side is La Côte d'Ivoire, and of course where I'm standing currently is Ghana. There are people on our side that even own farms across, and there are people on that side that own farms and have family and friends on this side. So it's difficult. You can't really tell who is being lawful and who is being unlawful. There's a lot of socio-economic activity between the two sides, and these are, in a sense, communities that have developed along the river. However, the Immigration Service has 48 engineers on boats that parade these waters and make sure that the people going across on a daily basis are people that live in the community and work across. But if you look at it, it's just 50 meters. 50 meters from Ghana to Côte d'Ivoire, and these routes are spread all over along the river. So it's a very challenging task for the Immigration Service and for the officials here to keep an eye on people trying to cross legally or illegally across this border. Member of Parliament for the area, Dorcas Afotofe, in league with other members of Parliament, have called on the President to open up the land borders.
The biggest challenge is the effect that is having on the inhabitants, the people that live here. Right now, because of the border closure, businesses are not going on. A lot of people have moved from this place to other places. And so it's very, very difficult, especially the market women, the drivers, and a lot of people. It's really hard. We are all forming a group so that we can, together with our voices, we can reach out to the government to see what can be done as soon as possible. So I'm hoping that by the time we go back, we'll be able to take that up and see how far we can do something about this. But so far, no help. So I've been managing it on my own.
So the biggest worries uncovered clearly defeats the purpose of keeping our London borders closed. The current closure is not keeping COVID-19 out of Ghana. The reality is in fact the reverse. Let us look at this in perspective. The London borders have been shut since the 22nd of March 2020 during the height of the coronavirus pandemic for obvious reasons. The government needed to 1. Halt cross-border transmission of the virus. 2. To contain and manage what cases we had recorded in Ghana without having to worry about the new influxes from without. And 3. As part of the wider lockdown strategy to prevent unwarranted movement of any sort. This was a necessary evil at the time when COVID-19 was at its peak, and we needed by all means to flatten the curve. The reasons for the call to reopen the borders cannot be understated. To curtail varied illegal activities such as smuggling and trafficking of persons who may be carriers of COVID-19. To restore the local economies of border towns to their thriving socio-economic districts that they were while observing COVID-19 protocols. To return to optimal revenue generation, particularly from smallholder exporters and importers. So there we have it, the fates of our border towns, Aflao to the east, Paga and Tumu to the north, and Ilubo to the west, have converged at a point of nuanced economic and social challenges, and this will remain so as long as our official land borders remain shut. Locals I interacted with confirm that currently about 2,000 persons allegedly move in and out of Ghana daily. But how can we hit up border town dwellers and officials to observe all COVID-19 protocols to cope with the influx of goods and persons in the eventuality the borders are opened?
What we have to do is to go back and educate them again and reinforce it throughout the whole constituency by sharing of the PPEs, Veronica buckets and everything to the whole community.
There's a bigger question though. Why keep the borders shut and run the risk of importing new variants of COVID-19 while fueling unlawful activities to thrive? This is a question to all stakeholders, and in particular to the President.